Welcome back to the Fraud Street Fandom Podcast. This week, week 8 of our MLB coverage. We'll be going over, obviously, what the Phillies did over the last week, getting into a little bit of football talk, cover the NBA playoffs, as well as we got some good mailbag discussions that we have coming your way. So look forward to it. Today's episode, I'll be drinking. I had this a couple weeks ago, so it's still a good one. Dogfish Head Juicy Pale Ale. So I'll be enjoying this. Cam, what you going with?
The old standard, the gold Miller
The gold
Lite can.
standard.
Took a page out of Brock's book.
Yeah, table mate's copying me now. I got Miller Lite also.
There you go.
Mine's golder.
Yeah, it is. It's a very beautiful can.
So again, feel free to send us suggestions, things that you think we might like. Look forward to it. So let's just dive right in. So when we left off, we just got finished playing the Rockies, right? 4-game set. And then we went out to Sacramento to play the A's. So Friday night, Wheeler pitched against Lopez. Walk away with a 4-3 win.
Yeah, Wheeler went 6 2/3. 8 Ks, no earned. So again, just what you expect from Wheeler, right? He's so good. Romano tried to blow it as best he could in the ninth.
Yeah, he gave up a 3
run.
I swear that guy annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah. I think we all have our.
We just know as Phillies fans we can never be safe.
Especially like losing Alvarado. It's like I don't trust anybody in that bullpen right now.
And no matter how good of a run Romano was on until that, it's gonna happen.
It's just a matter of time before he Taiwan, whatever.
Taiwan.
It's like it's always going to come back down to what he actually is. So.
Yeah, I mean, there was no offense until the ninth. We had a 1-0.
And then Trey, he led off with a home run. Yeah.
And then in the ninth, we scored 3 and then gave 3 right back to make it a 4-3 win. I know we were watching it here and we were all just kind of like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Here we go again, right? Bullpen's gonna bullpen. So, it's a shame Wheeler didn't get the W out of that. But, we at least said the team got the W. But
Philly starters are used to that, though.
Exactly.
Good start for them. Yeah. I pitch well.
Yeah, did his job.
Quality start, That's
So game 2, Sanchez against Springs. We did get another win here, 9-6.
Yeah, this one took us a little extra to get the W, but Sanchez only went 4 2/3. He gave up 3 and had 6 Ks. Ruiz and Joe Ross, again, just bullpen fucking sucks. They gave up runs. Cassidy doubled, Bowman and Schwarber hit home runs. The A's actually took a 5-4 lead, and Harper had an RBI single to tie it. Brent Rooker hit a home run in the bottom 8. My boy Max Kepler hit a home run in the top.
Your boy, there you go.
He's a douche.
You gotta pump him up,
man. And then 3 runs in the 11th to get the W. So extra innings, but they walked out with a win.
Yeah, that's big. It's tough to see Sanchez only go 4 innings. I did hear that people were having trouble with the mound. I guess
I never talk about that.
It was too hard or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what. But
it was just about that stadium.
The stadium's weird. I don't know if it was this game or the next game that the A's manager gets ejected, but he has to walk. He has to walk down the left field foul line to get out of the stadium.
Did you see where Schwarber and them the one pregame they had to walk all the way across the field just to go to the batting cage?
So if you want to get batting practice, whatever, you have to leave the stadium. So it's weird stadium. So. And I don't know if they're playing. I don't know if they signed an agreement. I haven't looked into it. They're there until the stadium in Vegas is ready.
I think so.
But that's 2027. So it's like you hope that maybe next year they're like, all right, let's throw some money in to actually add a legitimate bullpen. And
well, look what Toronto did. Remember when during the COVID year they couldn't play in Toronto,
so
they were playing down in Florida.
Yeah,
at that Dunedin Park, and they did a ton of renovations on that park. And actually, we went there.
It was trash.
It was awful. It was nothing better than the Blue Rock Stadium. The Blue Rock Stadium was actually even better than
it is. Yeah.
And we go down there for the spring training, and it's like, wow, this is sucks. But they made it actually really nice. They have bullpens. They have actually kind of comparable facilities to a major league club at that point.
Right.
They all should. I mean, you got people playing. You're part of MLB. How do you not have a nice looking?
Well, the thing is, there's 90 teams.
Yeah,
that's true. You have 3 levels of your minor leagues, and then you can't have 90 actual nice stadiums, right? Because you're only bringing in 5,000, 6,000.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So you can't expect too much, but we'll see what they do. I'm sure next year it's going to be a lot better than it was this year.
Yeah.
And then their minor league team's going to be set. They're going to have a nice ass ballpark when the A's go to Vegas.
Yeah.
So I mean, and you look at the Rays, like they actually have, it's Steinbrenner Field, but it's actually a legitimate.
Well, Yankees don't,
So they don't cut the corners. So, but they're actually playing in a legitimate actual stadium. So it was a little weird seeing, that kind of all happen. But game 3, Luzardo pitched against Hoagland. Lost this one 4-5.
Yeah, Luzardo got touched up early on. In the first inning, I think he gave up 3 earned.
Mm-hmm.
Still went 7 innings, 10 Ks. So the guys, he was shut down after that. But unfortunately,
no run scored.
That was an awesome game from Trey. So unfortunate to blow that.
Turner hit a home run in the top of the 8th to take a 4-3 lead, and then Strom actually gave up the runs. So Strom has been actually pretty reliable this whole season going into the series. Got touched up there, took the L.
Yeah.
But
but I mean, going into that, we talked about it on last episode. It's like these are the teams that you want to try to pad your.
Yeah.
So going into that stretch, they only had 1 loss.
Yep.
So to the final game of the series. So it's exactly what they wanted to do. Obviously sweeping would have been great, but coming back home, you have a good feeling going in. So
and then pad that lead on the division.
Oh, absolutely right. Take advantage of who you're playing against. You know what I mean? So
beat up on the belt.
Exactly. So we had the Braves come in, home game. Game 1, Strider against Ranger. 2-0 win. So that's the highlight of the game. No offense. Our porn stash boy Strider decides that he'd like to hit Harper in the first inning. So clearly Harper gets hit in the elbow. We're recording, let's say, Monday night. So we've had 6 games since.
Yeah, because they had.
And Harper hasn't played. Harper hasn't played in any of them. I would even count that game 1 because it's the first inning. So it's 6. So 6 games he's missed already, just hitting the elbow. And whether it was intentional or not, dude. 1, why the hell is our $300 million player not wearing any kind of protection?
I was getting that. I was like, where's the elbow guard?
Screw that guy. It's like,
I mean, if you're a surgically repaired elbow, you need to have that covered up. If that gets hit that hard and you're out this long, it's like, you definitely should have a guard on there.
And
no matter who you're pitching, who you are, if you're facing that.
I guess the thing that we've always talked about, or we definitely did talk about last week, amongst ourselves is, where's the retaliation going to come in? And, it's like this at this time was the 3rd time Harper's been hit in a 3 or 4 games span.
Yeah.
Because the A's hit him twice. I don't think those were intentional. I think honestly they were like off-speed pitches that just got away. But Strider's was like a 97, 98 mile an hour fastball right in his, in his side. So when are we going to start protecting our players by, going back at them? You know what I mean?
But the thing with I think we said it, like you said, among yourselves, you got to pick the right situation. If you're down 9-0, then sure, go ahead.
And that's what I was going to get to. So obviously, game 1, it was literally 1-0 for the longest time, and it's like Ranger was already pitching in trouble anyway. He was walking people, little loop singles, things like that. So it was never a comfortable situation to where, let's go ahead and hit one of their guys, especially when it comes up in the 9th inning, and you're looking at it like, okay, we have 2 outs, Acuna's on. Sure, we could go and hit Cunha tit for tat,
or
just
do it, but I'm saying,
But the problem there is now you put him on first, and you have Olsen coming up that you potentially could lose the game to. So I understand not throwing that, but then you go into game 2. Now you have actually it was rain out, so got rained out, rescheduled for Thursday. So we have a day-night doubleheader. The first game was Sanchez against Smith-Shawver. 5-4 win. So kind of, and we can get into the details of it, but kind of the same situation. You never had an opportunity there to kind of set.
You never had a lead that you could give up a base run, right?
Right. So, I mean, Sanchez, he was okay.
5 2/3, 2 earned, 5 Ks. Strom again gave up to Romano, tried his damnedest to blow it. Had 3 walks in the 9th. It was like, it was like a walk, a single, a walk, a strikeout, a walk, and I was like,
and that was when the umpire bailed him out with that pitch that was out of the zone, and I was like,
But that game, that was the Marchand.
I think you're gonna say that.
I was like, him run. Brock was happy with.
I was just like, I'm gonna get in here. I'm like, this.
I've been giving him shit, so hey, kudos to you, but
Michael Harris robbed my boy Kepler that game.
yeah, no, that was actually a great play by
That was a
Harris.
great catch
So
by Harris.
I've always I don't have any dislike to that guy. Like I think he plays the game the right way. He's a hell of a center fielder. I think he's been struggling with the bat this year, but you see a play like that, and you just admire. Okay, that's hey, hats off.
That's like
great
me with
play.
Olsen. I don't have any
Same.
towards him. I like him a lot.
I mean, the shitty thing about the Braves, and that's why like we've talked about this with the Mets and the Braves, is there's not really a guy on the Braves that I hate. Like Acuna, like he's annoying because he's good. Like I don't hate him, but I respect him. I hate the fact that he's a Brave.
Yeah.
But I respect the fact that he's actually a great player.
I hate the fact that he has the stupidest agent in the world.
Oh, him and Ozzy Albies.
Agent's working for free.
Right. So, but I mean, we can take that to the Mets side. It's like I can name like 7 people on that team, and throughout the 2000 to 2025, of just Jose Reyes all the way up to Pete Alonso. Like there's guys that are just hateable. So it's like nobody on the Braves I really hate. And,
Strider,
probably Strider now. Yeah, he's already like.
Well, he's on the shit list because he hit Harper.
Well, he was on the.
Well, he's on the shit hit list anyway. He's
yeah.
He was like,
he basically came out. He's like, what was it? He was talking about the Philly fans. He's like, oh yeah, they always ask you how your family's doing and all that. He's like, I pitched here so many times, it's almost like a home game. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah.
It's like go skip a leg day or something. Like God, I can't stand that guy. So
the whole thing where he couldn't handle the crowd noise though, like, and then part of the playoffs, like they were like, he can't handle the noise at all, and then we just crushed him.
And I saw the Crossing Broad guys actually tweeted out, like, I guess during the broadcast when they were changing out Strider, like the camera, like broadcast, they switched away from it, like. Let that go because the fans are booing the shit out of him.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like him. Two, he
hit Harper.
So it's like keep that on for a little bit. Like, let everyone see what the actual treatment he's getting.
Yep.
And
let it set for a little bit. Let him get all the way into the dugout.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
the only thing that would have made that better is if we were in Sacramento and he had to walk down the left field. But no, screw fucking Strider. But so
the other person we all hated was Arcia. But that's all.
Yeah, well,
but he's on the Colorado Rockies now.
But like he's not even worth our time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. Like at least Strider's a good pitcher.
Yeah,
Arcia is just that. Yeah, exactly.
Plus, he was a guy that he just talked shit. He wasn't really like backing up his shit talk. He just talked shit that one thing, and then Harper stared him down, and it became a whole.
Yeah,
but it was never like he was on our radar as a person we were worried about.
He was an All-Star 1 year, I think 23 season.
Yeah.
But regardless, I mean, fuck that guy.
Yeah, exactly. So, we won the first 2, which is nice to see. Especially against a division rival.
Won another series.
We have another series. We previewed this pitching matchup earlier in the year, the Sale Wheelers. We get it again.
Yeah.
You're actually at the game.
Yeah. The hat Brian's rocking.
Shout out to actually some of our Braves fan friends.
Yeah.
They went up and thanks for hooking us up. Appreciate that.
So this is proof that I delivered the hats, boys. But no, I mean, honestly, like I was excited to see it because, like, it wasn't actually projected for it to be this matchup.
No.
During that week, it was just because they did the rain delay. They were like, all right, well, let's throw Wheeler at night against Sale. So yeah, I mean, Wheeler got roughed up in the 4th inning. Like it was pretty much pitcher still the first 3 innings.
Yep.
And then Wheeler just ran into trouble. There was Olsen double, Riley double, Albie home run. There's 4 runs right there.
Yep.
Like quick. Like it was shocking how quick it was during that inning. And then Luke Williams, former Phil, he was always kind of like a bench guy.
Come in and
he had a 2-run single in the 6th inning, and that was Wheeler I think went like 5 in the 3rd or something.
Yeah.
So not what we're expecting to see out of Wheeler, but Chris Sale was fucking dealing.
Yeah, he was.
And the weird thing, like I was kind of like we were just staying in a room and they had like a television kind of above us. And I was watching, I'm like, damn, Sale's only throwing like 93, 94. And then the 6th inning, he's pumping 98. So he got like, I think it was
or he was just throwing
situations there was base runners on, and he started pumping up velocity with him as well. So he, scary outing from him, right? Like he was dealing again.
Well, that's what, it was actually, exactly. Yeah. So
don't want to see that.
No, not at all. But I mean, at the end of the day, we took 2 or 3. So that's what we wanted to do.
Without our best player.
I think the biggest loss was losing Harper.
Yeah.
So going into the weekend, clearly Harper missed that whole series. He misses the whole Brewers series.
Yeah.
So we have Reese coming back to town. So, it's another big homecoming whoop-de-doo. But it's, prior to going into this series, I brought it up last week. It's like, okay, you keep hearing about the Reese reunion. Are they going to try to trade for him?
Yeah.
So if you look at the standings, the Brewers were, I think, 4 or 5 games back. Well, I'm going to not bury the lead, but hey, they swept us. So now they're right back into contention for not only a wild card spot, but, they're getting up there for the division. I think the Cubs still have pretty good amount of games ahead, but coming into this series and losing 3, that's going to basically put you, for the most part, out or just about out.
Yeah.
So what they did, what they needed to, and Reese actually had a pretty good weekend. So unfortunately, none of the Phillies did.
Yeah, I mean, the first game, we lost.
Taiwan,
started,
so it's Taiwan start, and it's
like
you flip a coin, you don't know what you're going to get out of them. At least this year, it's been a flip of a coin instead of last year. It was just like,
it's
whether it's head or tails, it's going to be bad.
Automatic loss. Yeah, I mean, Yelich hit 2 home runs. He had a 3-run home run and then a solo shot behind. For the Phillies, Cassie homered, but again, no offense to speak to, right? The offense hasn't really been great, since
Harper. And it's like, why does it I heard something today on the radio, WIP, that the Phillies stats with Harper and without Harper are very similar. Yeah. So it's not like he has too much of a grasp on, or handle of oh my God, the WAR. Without him, they struggle. So I think they find ways, but they also had that month or two where Schwarber basically carried the team without him, and then you would have other guys kind of step up. So looking to find that have that this week, nobody stepped up.
Nope.
No one stepped up.
Yeah, and that's a problem, right? We need somebody to step up, like Schwarber.
It can't just be him, and it's what I mean. It's whether he's even producing, but just having him in the lineup. I don't know if everybody just feels comfortable just having that person in that spot. Yeah. Where I mean, I don't know how many different lineups you had to look at this weekend, based on our what we wanted to talk about, but they were all over the place and who's batting where. Yeah. And guys are
go from lead off to 8th.
Right. But it's you also had guys that shouldn't be batting. JT shouldn't be batting 5th.
Yeah.
It's he's not offensively. I mean, by far one of the greatest defensive catchers I've ever seen in my life, but his bat's just not what it should be this year. So there's no reason why he should be batting 5th.
And as soon as Harper's gone, they throw Bohm all the way up there, and I'm like, so down. Don't need to be moving him that high.
And that's a spot where you would hope the casting would be able to kind of take a little bit, right? Because he's another $20 million man. He should be performing, but he just hits solo shots anymore. I feel like he never gets a.
But not even just that. It's dude, the casty that I wanted was the doubles guy. It was just crushing doubles, and it's he led the league a couple years ago when he was in Cincinnati, and all he would do is hit doubles. And it's those are good because it keeps innings going. It moves the runners. It's instead of just home runs. I find it so many times with the Phillies that they'll have that one home run and nothing else, or they'll get 2 guys on, and it's we'll ground out, but the next inning we'll hit a solo home run. It's
you heard the announcers go oh, good at bat, getting the guys over second, third. I'm doesn't mean they're going to score because the next guy's going to get out. The good hit would have been scored on that hit. That would have been the good hit. The small ball is not our thing. So
I mean that's the way the lineup's built there, right?
Yeah.
Right. Harper, Schwarber, they're 30+ home run guys. Turner, Casty, Real said you would expect them to be at least 20 home run guys. So outside of Stott, Marsh, Rojas, Kepler maybe he's probably around a 20 home run expectation guy. But other than that, they're not home runs. But that whole 6 out of 9 hitters is going to be people you expect to hit 20
right
year.
Right. That's what you signed up for. But it's clearly they're not doing.
Not at all right now.
So game 1 they lose 6-2. Game 2 Luzardo pitches against Patrick. He gets absolutely demolished.
Yeah. Reese. This was the Reese game. We knew he was going to hit 1 home run.
Yeah.
Didn't expect 2 separate 3-run home runs. Yeah. But he had himself a day. A lot of people are kind of upset, I think, with Thompson for leaving Luzardo out there.
Yeah, because he didn't warm anybody up, so it was 11-0. Then he finally started putting someone in. They were you should have done that when it was 5-0.
But I mean, again,
when did he get injected? I thought he got ejected. So it was Caleb that would have left.
I don't even know what inning he got ejected, but I mean,
because he got ejected after. He got ejected after the balk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, honestly, Luzardo is he's a guy, right? Like he's, we were talking about it last week. He was, probably number 2 in Cy Young voting.
Yeah.
You're going to let him try and work through it.
Right.
Like, if it's just not his day, it's not his day.
Well, I mean, if you look at it also, who are you going to put the fuck in?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Joe Ross.
You look at your like, do you want it to be 30 something?
Yeah.
Like, let him pitch out of it. Like, I mean, but still, it's like he only goes 3 innings. So,
yeah.
What did you really save? You saved
6 pitches all he had and give it 12 runs. That's
yeah. I mean, they came to hit. The Brewers came to hit, and we clearly didn't. So, hey, kudos to them.
I mean, honestly, that was our best offensive output since the A's
7
1-9-6.
Yeah,
7 runs.
They scored 5-2, 5-3, 2.
Yep.
Then 7.
Oh,
I mean,
Sanchez game we had 9. So yeah. Other than that,
plus there's some with Reese doing so well. There's some people there going like, "Oh, it's so nice to see Reese play well on his return to Philly."
Yeah,
exactly. I love him so much.
I'll say this again. I'm a big Reese guy, but he doesn't. He doesn't need to come back to this team.
Him doing it on another team though is not going to make me feel good. I'm like, he is destroying us. Like, thanks. Yeah,
I mean, we lost by 10, and he had 6 RBIs.
Yeah, I'm like, this is great. Yeah.
So
let's be happy for him. Like, no.
I mean, honestly, they brought Ruiz in, and he gave up 5.
Yeah.
So, like, again, we're talking about like getting Luzardo pulled and who we're going to put in. Ruiz came in and gave up 5 anyway.
Yeah, so you don't have exactly.
Well, that's the annoying thing. I mean, Ross is obviously dog shit also, but that was the whole point. They brought him is he's supposed to be the guy who can go like 4 or 5 innings at the start.
Garbage.
But he's garbage. He's shit, and he's a Brewer. He's a former. So it's like, would have been nice if you could have done something.
Yeah, I mean, also shout out Weston Wilson, 2 innings pitched, scoreless, throwing 48.
Just hold my beer.
Yeah, that was wild. But I mean, looking through the box.
His biggest contribution of the year so far is that.
Yeah, because it certainly hasn't done anything offensively. He hit that one foul home run that he trotted around the bases, and I'm like, I go into the bar and I look at it, and I'm like, the ball's fucking foul. Like, why are you running the bases?
We knew,
and the bartender was like, "Oh, they did."
They called it on the field at home run.
That wasn't even close.
Yeah, so it looked like it kind of caromed off of the pole, is what they thought.
Oh, yeah, that thing wasn't even
turned
close.
left at the end, but we were at the stadium watching the game. I was like, "That's definitely not a run."
Yeah, so that was the Braves series, But as I walk in, the bartender at the bowling alley is a Braves fan, and she's like, "Why are you hating?" I'm like, "The ball's foul." It's like it's not even hating. It's like it's my team.
Yeah. But that was just kind of wild to see him go through 2 innings scoreless. Like, fucking the Ruiz comes out there trying to throw heat, and he's getting fucking touched up for 5. Well, and I mean, I'm sure the Brewers were kind of just like, all right, whatever. We already up by fucking 15 at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just go. Let's just go pad our home run stats.
Yeah.
But I mean, he followed up that great pitching performance with a huge error in Game 3.
Yeah.
So basically misread a ball. I can't remember what inning it was, but it kind of just we were up at the time, and it just opened up the let's just say minor floodgates.
It was a 7th inning.
We end up losing 5-2. Ranger pitched against Quintana.
Pitched well.
He
6
did.
innings, 1 earned. He only had 2 Ks, which is weird, but I mean, he was in line for a win until the defense.
So Weston, he misreads the ball and left. He cuts it off early, goes over his head. So that's the one error.
Yeah.
And the big one that everybody's going to talk about is a turn error. So that eventually turned into 3 unearned runs, and
And I get the frustration because that's now 4 L's in a row, but that Trey, the way you read people on Twitter, the way Trey makes that error, they're like, dude, just ship him away.
Well, I mean, he's the big name, right? Like, he's going to get a lot of the flack for the poor performance, and it has been a problem.
Well, and the funny thing about that is everybody's quick to call him out for his defense, and it's like, okay, yes, when we signed him, we were looking at, okay, this guy's a Gold Glove shortstop, so we're not gonna have any issues here. And he actually puts the Phillies jersey on, and you're like, wait, this is the shortstop that we were getting. So, but to be fair, his bat this year has been pretty good.
Yeah, he's been very good offensively for us.
So he's been getting on base.
It's not like he's doing bad altogether, like before the standing ovation. And he's doing well. It's like you can't. You got to give or take a little bit, but if he's still hitting the ball and then no one else is hitting it, then it's not entirely on him. And they just want to get rid of him. I'm like, dude.
I think it's just frustrations based on the first year and a half, 2 years. He's with the team and just like mediocre performance, or it's been spotty, let's say. So it's like he'll have runs where he's just absolute dog shit. And then he'll have like runs where it's like, okay, this is the guy we signed. This is the $300 million player that we got.
Well, like I was going to say, is how much they fell in love with Sosa earlier in the year. Because obviously he was playing well. And
he's good off the bench, but he gets exposed.
This stretch since Harper's been out, he's been playing third base and been playing every day. He is batting like bad. Like
Mhm.
it's terrible. He's not even batting 2, I think, at all. Like 200 average. So
Right.
Yeah.
so like you gotta if you get rid of
That's why he's a
Turner,
bench guy. That's why he's
right?
always
So
been
I'm
a
saying
bench
like
guy.
they want to get rid of Turner. I'm like then you have to play him every day. Look, he's not even playing well right now.
Well, and it's like everybody wants to throw him in the outfield. Like,
Yeah.
what are you going to throw him in the outfield for?
They want to put him
One,
in
I
center.
I don't think he
yeah.
has a glove,
Yeah.
or not the glove. I'm sorry, I don't think he has the arm for an
Yeah,
outfield.
it's because he did it
And
one time in LA, and they're just like,
oh my
well,
god,
LA
yeah,
does it to everybody. They put everybody in different spots.
I would rather
like,
put him at fucking second base and put Stott at short. Like
Yeah,
if you're really freaking worried about it. Like
I think a lot of the reasoning of them wanting the center was also because Sosa was playing well.
yeah,
And you had Harper, but now Sosa is
Sosa's just
Sosa's
playing exactly what you expect from what you should expect from him.
You want to play him once every week, and it's like have him come in for a couple at bats.
Yeah.
See, and the unfortunate thing, and just talking about the bench and stuff, it's this team doesn't have a bench bat that they can rely on.
Yeah.
And I know, like
They don't have a
back in,
finally.
that's true too. But I don't like back when we, the 08 run, and like we had guys on the bench that you would bring them Matt Stairs, you'd bring these guys in, and they just like they would come up clutch. And it's like there's no guy on this bench that I'm like, okay, I can't wait for this guy to actually show up. The one that I did like, which they got rid of, is Cody Clemens, but it's
and he's playing well. And
he's playing well, yeah. So it's I don't know.
And they never
I
even
think
gave
they
him
have
a shot. That's the problem with the Clemens
they didn't.
thing.
How
They
much
play
of that
all
do you
this
think
shit.
of that's regular at bats that he's playing?
Right, but I mean,
that's true. Yeah,
he wouldn't get the opportunities like he's getting in Minnesota.
But he pinch hit it twice all year, and then they're just like, "Well, see you later." I'm like, we could have.
And he was actually, I thought he was better last year.
Yeah, I mean, we're giving
bad.
Wilson and them more chances than we gave him, and I'm like, that makes no sense at all. Like,
I mean, I think that's also just Wilson being an outfielder. Obviously, outfield's a
and he's a right-handed guy instead of he would have been another lefty.
Yeah, no, it is what it is. At this point, we get swept by the Brewers. Going into next week, we have a couple series that can definitely get us back on the right track.
Yeah,
we go to Toronto for 3, and then the weekend we have the Pirates for 3. So kind of you take the 3 losses from the Brewers, the 1 from the Braves. This is the 2 series where you try to get back on track.
Yeah, Toronto's actually only they're 5.5 games back of the Yankees. They're 31-28. I thought they were doing a lot worse than that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so it's not going to be an easy series, right? But again,
no, but it's
we can get Harper back.
Well, and I think that's the big thing. So Harper's supposed to come back tomorrow, first game against Toronto. So we'll see what the lineup looks like. We'll see what everybody looks like. But it's somebody has to be able to help carry this team. And it has been Schwarber for the most part because he's just been.
I mean, Trey too, right? Like Trey and Stott and Schwarber have been hitting well on the top of the order. It's just the whole back half.
The back half has been trash.
You never know what Cassie's going to do. Real Nietzsche's bat's not there. Kepler, who knows anymore. Marsh, Rojas, like they're just not.
Well, I think I texted you guys the other day because the one game Cassie was 4 for 4, and then they pinch ran Rojas in, and the way that the score they ended up scoring, but the way it played out, like Cassie even could have scored. I was like, oh yeah, take the 4 for 4 guy out for a dude who can't hit.
That was the Braves game, right?
Yeah,
the game 1.
Yeah, I think so. And then because then they had to move Kepler all the way to right. They put Martian left and put Rojas in center. So I'm like, I don't like that outfield at all. Like,
I mean, honestly, like Kepler's probably an upgrade defensively. And then you have Marsh and Rojas in there instead of Kepler, Casti, and Marsh, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, because they're getting that lead, they're going to go in there and hopefully have a better defensive outfield. So I don't disagree with that move.
My thing is, how the bullpen is. If you're taking Casti out of the lineup, that's where I'm like,
but you're also looking at like, let's get defensive,
Right, but if you get to extras, then all of a sudden now it's Rojas instead of Cassie. You're just like, well, Cassie had 4 hits and now he's sitting. So I'm like, that was my frustration. I'm just like, I get the defensive thing, but they're going to tie the game, and then we're going to fucking deal with him.
Well, he tried his best. Yeah, so not a good week as far as Phil's, kind of highlighted by the Brewers series, but they go 4-5. I guess updates from the rest of the division. Well, I guess the ones that matter. Braves went 3-6. They lost 2 to Padres. They obviously lost 2 to us. Then they lost 2 to Boston. So didn't really help themselves out at all, regardless of injury in our player. The Mets, on the other hand, they went 7-2. Actually, had a pretty good, but they took 2 from the Dodgers, which is pretty impressive. The 1-2 against the White Sox, which you would expect, and then they swept the Rockies, which you would also expect. So Similar to what we talk about, take advantage of the matchups that you have in front of you. They did that. So with all that said and done, they retake, the division lead by 1 game. So we're still right there. I mean, even having this bad of a weekend, let's just say 4-game stretch, we're still right there. I'm actually kind of glad they don't have the best record in baseball because we were there. We were literally this time last year, we had the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'd rather be, let's hover around division. Let's turn it on in September, October, where you actually want to be playing, play good baseball. So we're also coming up to, the anniversary of going out to London. And I think that's kind of where the season turned around for the Phillies. Ever since they got back from London, they were a 500 team. Yeah. And, they played the Mets out there. And I think they split 1-1, right?
Yeah.
The game split.
That was Harper's slide after he
soccer slide.
So I get it. It was cool. They were playing great baseball. It's like, I don't have any gripes over that. Plus, I love the guy. So, but, I think coming back from that, they just were never the same team. So I'm hoping that, we have the Mets coming up and I think next week. No, we have the Cubs and then we do have the Mets coming up.
It's in a couple weeks. So the next week, obviously, as you mentioned, we have Toronto, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Toronto again, Miami, and then the Mets in the weekend series.
Okay. So that's going to be the next. So what I'll do is I'm going to basically say what our records were between the Mets series and the other Mets series and compare those two. So when we get into that Mets series, leading up to that of, okay, this is what we got. This is what happened since then.
Yeah.
But that is a Mets series at home.
Mm-hmm. It is at home, yes.
Yeah. They need to dominate that team.
Yeah, they have to, right?
Like you got to get a little bit of payback because they got swept in New York. For some reason, they can't win in that damn ballpark. So let's get a little payback. Let's, don't look ahead. Don't look past Toronto and all that for them. And Miami.
Plus, they have to show they can beat teams like that. Because, we went 9 of 10 against dog shit teams, and everybody put us that we were number 1, best record and all that. And then,
I wouldn't classify them as dog shit teams. It's
it's the Rockies.
We beat the Cubs.
The Rockies are bad.
So we won the series against the Cubs. We won the series against the Diamondbacks.
Oh, like earlier.
Won the series against the Nats, won the series against the Rays, won the series against Cleveland.
And if you look at the Rays are actually in 3rd place in their division.
I was just talking about the 10-game stretch though. That was the one where they were like, "Oh, we're the hottest team." I'm like, "Look who we're playing!" Like and then we played the Brewers and
but we did beat actual teams.
No, I'm not saying. Yeah, there's just that they're pretty bad.
So since that series where we got swept by the Mets, we won every series except the Cardinals series.
Yeah, and the Cardinals.
And then until the Brewers. Yeah, but looking back at it, there are a lot of wins in that.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah.
But yeah, obviously brutal series for the Phillies last week. And hopefully they have the day off today. We're going to Canada. Hopefully we can,
get back on track. So yeah, we'll see. We're not going to see Wheeler in Toronto. He's going to be out on paternity leave. So congratulations to Zach and your wife.
Maybe number 4 or something like that anymore. It seems like every year you probably want to have.
There you go. Hopefully the next Phil's coming up in
18,
20 years.
Girls.
Oh shit. Okay, maybe
I could be wrong, but who cares?
Yeah.
But it says Sanchez, Abel, Luzardo against.
Yeah, they're bringing Abel back up.
So Wheeler and Nola. Nola's still on the shelf. Wheeler is going to be taking some time for paternity leave. Mm-hmm. So hopefully Sanchez kind of come back out. Well, who knows what to expect from Abel again?
Yeah,
if he's going to be. Obviously, he missed.
I think it's going to be more of a task against Toronto than it was against Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, he gets a little bit more run support than he did when he pitched against Kings. But I like to see that they're bringing him up. Give the kid an opportunity.
And then Luzardo came through.
Yeah. So whether it's you bring him up to showcase him and trade him, or you bring him up to where it's like, all right, well, fine, you can actually stay up and pitch. Maybe they throw him in the bullpen when Nolan comes back.
Well, they moved Walker back to the bullpen.
Yeah,
and then
that was after his last start.
And then they DFA'd Ruiz, so he's gone. Thank God.
Thank God.
Somehow Hernandez survives another day, but
if they can just replace Hernandez, Ruiz,
and
Ross, the bullpen actually might be formidable.
Yeah,
but it's just who are they going to replace him with? Probably.
Kirkman
we don't have any arms
the other day either.
Yeah, no, but he's at least better than.
He needs to add a pitch. I know we talked about it, but it's like you can't just live off the sweeper and the one fastball you throw.
They always go like that sweeper so nice. I'm like, it's just one pitch. Like I'm watching the game. Go, oh, there's that one pitch he's got. Yeah. Oh yeah.
The you just can't locate.
Yeah.
So
Just
he
don't
needs
swing
to
at that
add
one,
a
you'll be
pitch
all
or
right.
something.
Yeah.
It's like it was great when he first come up and
Well, because you got no
nobody has
footage
seen
on,
it.
no one's seen it. They don't
So
know
it's
the
like,
break.
yeah, that thing's nasty.
As soon as they learn the break, they're just gonna sit there and go, just throw a fastball. I'll be ready.
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, especially when you can't throw for fucking strikes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
That's the big problem. Yeah. So I mean, we'll see what they got, but
Yeah,
it's not
big
gonna
week
be very
ahead.
easy against Toronto.
No, it's not. But that's a team that you have to beat. So you get the ship righted, I guess you would say.
Yes.
But moving on to basketball. Sorry, Brock.
Rest in peace, man.
I know. So, Towns and Brunson did not show up Game 6 at all.
Towns, I don't think was healthy, right? Like something.
No, he had a knee problem, and they just, I mean, he was questionable and then he played, but he does dumb fouls throughout the series, puts his hands on people when he shouldn't, like in certain ways.
The one offensive foul was weird.
Yeah,
he hooked the guy's arm into the basket. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he was like, I gotta be smarter. I was like, yeah, I don't know why you're even making contact when they don't even have. Sometimes he's getting a foul, they don't even have the ball, and I'm like, dude, you can't get in foul trouble, like you just can't. And Mitchell Robinson played his ass off. Like he played great, offensive boards like crazy. OG played awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just they didn't use the bench until Game 4. So I mean, I feel like if they used the bench,
we were talking about it.
And
I just think a lot of the Knicks, they run everything through Brunson, and it's like share the ball. Like you got Bridges, you got Hart, like you have other guys on the team.
Hart was
abysmal the whole series. This was his worst series he's had as a Knick. It was not good. Yeah,
not good at all.
I mean, he got put to the bench. You know, what I mean, like he's been a starter the whole time. They were just like, we're gonna play.
I think they tried to say it was injury.
They tried,
he
but
said it himself that he went to the coaching staff was like, yeah, I'm cool with you guys benching me.
And then he said he can't. He said he can't preach sacrifice all year and then get mad about being put on the bench. So I mean, he did. You know, grow up, or he accepted like, hey, I'm gonna.
Well, that might be the Villanova. You get Jay Wright as a coach, and
he knew he can get it.
Yeah,
I would say that Thibodeau, they just extended him, which is the problem because like he could go. Like I could see him not be there, but I feel like they're gonna run it back with the same group, and they just got to get depth. They just have to get depth. They can't because Thibodeau runs them.
Well, he runs his starters
so many minutes all year, and then as soon as they get to this point, he's like they're probably a little tired.
That's a coaching.
But I mean, that's what he does all the time. Yeah, I mean, we saw.
I'd be curious, like just looking at the numbers of like the Knicks and minutes per year, compared to other teams, and kind of where they fall because it does seem that he relies.
You can see Cat at times, like literally, like hung, like bent over, just breathing heavily.
Yeah.
Like,
he was there in Minnesota when Tibbs was coaching Minnesota.
So
he knew what
he knows that. And then Hart is another one that you would see like, holy shit, man! Like I've been playing this entire because even last year he was playing all 48 minutes. I'm like, dude, he needs to sit down for 5 seconds. Like, yeah. But again, like you said, they just run the ball. I mean, Brunson's fantastic, but they just run it through him way too much. Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, you got other guys who can score.
Well, there's times too where it's like it seems like he gets down the court and it's like immediately he's working a shot for himself instead of like moving the ball around. It's like, come on, dude, you're not the only guy on the goddamn team.
The thing that was wild this like NBA playoffs is so many like double-digit leagues that are playing. I don't know if it's just this year.
It's been a lot. I mean, the Knicks did it.
The Knicks did it against the Celtics.
The Celtics in that game one, they won 17. Yeah, they did twice against the Celtics. They won both games, come back down.
The Pacers came back against the Knicks, right?
17, yeah.
So that's why it's just wild to me.
Oh no,
I just don't know if that's a normal thing, and I just don't pay attention, or if they're just making it.
Well, I mean, that's the way they shoot threes anymore. It's like, I mean, like
go on a run or something.
That kid Naismith hit 6 of 9. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting there just yelling at my TV, like, "Can we just try to guard him, please? That'd be great."
Call timeout.
But like you were saying, it's like with Tibbs playing his guys so often, they get into foul trouble.
Yeah.
So it's like they're on the court, they can't actually defend because they'll get at.
Oh, even Game 6, like literally, they would make a shot, and then Siakam would just be by himself down the other side because he would just out hustle them. So by the time it got to halftime, it was a game until third quarter, and then they got tired. You could just see they were exhausted. And the Pacers were like, "This is how we play the whole game. We're just run up and down the court on you." And they wiped us out. But OKC in 5, though.
OKC looks good.
5.
Yeah,
I got OKC in 5 too. I think OKC is just so much better.
I think it's gonna be OKC in 6. just to try and get some ratings out of this series
because there's going to be none.
Well, they're not going to get any ratings.
You got to be a true basketball fan to watch this series.
You got to be an OKC fan or a Pacers fan, basically.
Yeah, there's no big market. Like there's
no history.
It's on ABC. There's just nothing else. Like it's just like no one cares.
Yeah, that's SGA. I mean, he's an exciting player.
They're really trying hard to make him the face, though. They're just
they have to.
I know they have to.
They got Hallie.
Yeah,
like, I mean, same kind of thing, but.
It's going to be like one of those series. It's like, man, no one really cares unless you are a Pacer defender.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a stat. I think it's the closest NBA Finals series since like the Bucks and Bulls, and that was like Jordan's Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
So that's.
And then the age, like we were saying to ourselves, they're all young. There's just there's no Jokic, there's no Curry, there's no KD,
it's
no
all
LeBron,
but it's like if you look at those teams, it's everybody's like, oh, you got to have a big three.
Yeah.
It's like there's no big three.
Right.
Like.
Well, I mean, I think like the Thunder kind of built one with.
Well, they didn't pay for it.
Chet, and then that kid J-Dub.
And they have I think it's Dart. I think it was, and then they have
Dort,
Dort, and then Caruso.
Alex Caruso.
Yeah, Caruso. I think is the oldest
role guys.
Caruso's like the oldest dude on the team though. Like, and he's only he's 26. Yeah, so,
but I mean, it's one of those things.
He won one with the Lakers.
Yeah.
That's your former team.
Yeah. So, but no, I don't see like they're not paying for a big three.
Yeah. Exactly.
They built their team basically from Paul George.
Yeah.
Both of them did. Both of the teams did.
Which is kind of it's wild. I wonder if his podcast is something.
Talk about which team you enjoyed before.
Playing, yeah. So, all right, that'll be about enough basketball coverage. So, let's see. On to the NFL. Bryce Huff. Did you guys actually see him play last year? I didn't see him play much.
Did you see his stupid Instagram post? He posted the peace sign. People were like, "You just can't go quietly, can you? You just go."
Who cares, man? He's a nobody. He's a Super Bowl champion, but he's still nobody.
How do you get a ring and you don't play a fucking snap? I mean,
Bradbury did.
Yeah, but Bradbury actually contributed by
he did by coaching and
we're not.
We don't know if Huff was out there teaching Josh lessons.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I tell you, I would do this if I was out there.
If I was playing, if they wanted me to play, he's like.
So, but Bryce Huff he reunites with Saleh out in
and that's where he had his best season was playing under Saleh.
You know right well he's going to have a great year.
And all we know is it's supposed to be a mid-round pick, but they won't even announce it. I mean, even before we started, they said it, and they still will
check it now to see if they said anything.
As far as I know, they said.
So pending a physical, it'll be a mid-round pick. But it's as much praise as we give Howie. He missed on this one. We paid him a lot of money, and he just either never fit Fangio's system, or because I will say Fangio's not a guy that's going to just throw people out there because they make a lot of money. If you're not going to be able to contribute, you're sitting the fucking bench. And I think that was clear with Bryce Huff because, even with Devin White they brought in.
Yeah.
They cut him shortly after too because it was like I don't know if he just came in the mindset of, I'm the middle linebacker, but he ends up getting beat out by Vaughn.
And luckily.
Yeah. And then Zach Vaughn ends up turning out to be a great linebacker.
Kobe Dean, I've seen he looked pretty good. Like just walking around, like he looks like he's doing okay.
Good. I saw something that he was doing.
You watched him walk and he looks
like he's been in clips. He's been in clips. Like he apparently he took up some kind of dance
ballet or something
to do it.
Help. Yeah.
No, but I mean, just
you remember
on his knee though.
Offensive linemen and stuff. They were doing like yoga just to be more flexible. Like I've seen
Matt Minor.
Yeah.
Basket weaving or ballet or something to see.
That's what is he going to do with that? But I mean, like I've heard of offensive linemen actually taking yoga, more flexible.
I mean, it just seems like he seems to be on track to be back on time.
Yeah, and I think he wants to be more flexible, but also not just have that football. I guess you'd say body or whatever.
Movements.
But I mean, it's like I don't know how many times you guys heard it, but like when you talk of people, and when it comes with kids in sports, they want them to play all different types of sports because it makes their body kind of ready for any kind of movements. Whereas like if you're focused on baseball all the time, you're only focused on that kind of
base or
or football, or vice versa. So they like them to be like multi, sport athletes because I think they're more athletic in that sense. But it's hopefully he can come back. I don't know when they're projecting him. It's probably going to be.
I'm just saying it looked like just seeing him be able to do that stuff. It's like
what did he end up? Was it ACL, MCL?
It was like a the hell? It was pretty bad.
It was wasn't it meniscus?
It was a meniscus or something like that. He didn't like
So
tear it.
wasn't
It's the way he bent it or something is how he got like it was.
Let me.
Yeah, I was say I'm not. I can't. Well, because it was the Packers game. It was a while. You know, what I mean, it was a while ago. Like, can't remember the exact.
I mean, if it's meniscus, then it's not because when you
I
think
don't
of
think he actually
ACL,
tore
yeah,
anything.
when
I
you
think
think of
it was the
ACL,
PCL,
yeah,
okay,
patellar tendon.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, because when you hear ACL, it's like, all right, that's a year, easy,
Yeah.
and then it's like you're hoping that they can get back to the normal football form.
Yeah.
But no, good. Hopefully, because I think we are a little limited in linebacker, so it would be nice to have him back. We also don't know what John Campbell's going to be able to do.
Yeah.
He's coming off his shoulder,
Yep.
so is he going to be able to play right away? Probably not.
Also, what I would like to see is that we open up a lot of money with this Huff deal, so like there's always a potential to pick somebody out there. Maybe.
Well, they also open up money too
and
with
plus with
the
those TV
Slay
stuff,
and
someone's gonna get cut and all that. So there's always a way to pick someone in there.
Well, and then back to kind of praising Howie. Like Howie has done some pretty good moves. Like as you get closer to the start of the season, that's when we went out and we got Bradbury a couple years back. And,
well, Justin Simmons too, the safety.
Ballin was another one that
he's talked about wanting to play there because of Fangio. So it's like.
Yeah, but I don't know how much of that is mutual.
I'm not saying that's a great thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't know how much of that's mutual. Though. It might just him being like, "Hey, I'm not on a team right now."
Why would you not want to join the Super Bowl?
Exactly, but it's like I'm not on a team right now. Let me go ahead and say, yeah, that would be a great fit for me. And it's like
you got Reed, and then you got Makuba and Sidney Brown playing for the other spot. So it's like if you sign Simmons and he's ready to go, it's like, well, then boom, there you go. Like just play next to Reed.
I think if that happens, it'll be closer to.
No, so I mean, we got. Yeah, it's only.
I think they want to see what these kids have.
Oh,
and I mean, they also freed up a little bit of money with Slay and Bradbury too. Going into
the Goddard thing.
And the thing with also I'm sure Simmons doesn't care about missing OTAs. Care about missing the mini camp, right? Like he'd rather just come in when it's actually training camp and then just get ready to.
Now, of course, there's some other bullshit fan thing that people they think we can somehow get the Hendrickson guy from the Bengals, and I'm like, stop.
I don't even want him.
Yeah, but I'm like, it wouldn't.
I would like him.
I mean, it would be you get him. It's like sure, but what do you give? Yeah, you got to pay him.
How many years? He's like 36 years old.
I know he's old. Yeah.
He had 18 sacks last year.
He's been on top of the sacks the last couple years. He's been up there with Cleo and all them.
I get it, but what do you get? What are you giving up for him? One and then
how much you're paying him?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I know
the Bengals would be like, sure, take him. You guys got to pay him $20 million a year.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I know they're posturing themselves favorably because they have a lot of guys that are coming up on contract. They want to be able to have the money available. I think that's why you see these big salary cap, availability.
Like you said, I think the way we platoon, the way we swap out those guys, we're good on defensive line. I don't think we need to.
I mean, I don't want to give up draft assets or anything else
especially
for Hendrickson.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we'll see how he ends up doing. But it's good to see football back. Speaking of good to see back, can't wait for this to happen. But Mr. Saquon, congratulations on the Madden cover.
Side note, Trey Hendrickson's only 30.
Hendrickson's only 30.
He's only 30. Yeah. So,
but he plays like a 36-year-old.
But football age. Yeah, Saquon's cover though, pretty badass.
It's obviously last year that play was incredible. So I mean we'll see kind of how Madden covers go, right?
Yeah.
Last year, McCaffrey, whole year gone.
Yeah.
So we'll touch on that later on in the mailbag.
Well, speaking of the mailbag, let's just dive right into it.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to start with that one then?
Yeah, we can. So we actually had an anonymous listener send this one in probably 3 weeks ago because there was a tweet that was going viral of Saquon as the cover athlete, and it wasn't officially announced until today. So, question here is, what's up, gents? First time, long time. After Saquon's tremendous season, he had been awarded the cover of Madden. How will this prestigious acknowledgement hurt his upcoming season? Please provide notable players that have struggled after the curse and some examples, if any, that have performed at a high level even though they're on the cover. Cubs suck, also. I get into that question. So
Cubs suck.
So I was researching this earlier today, and I actually stumbled across an article from CBS Sports that this guy Cody Benjamin had actually released, and he did all the research I was going to do.
Shout out Cody.
Jump into his.
Is he our anonymous?
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, as PlayStation fans, you know, when we were growing up, like we always would play Madden, right? Like it was something we always did.
Xbox stuff. Sorry,
whatever. But we always loved Madden, right? Like
Yeah,
that was always so cool. Like it was, you know, a game that I definitely spent a lot of my childhood devoted to was playing Madden. Always fun to play your brothers, play your friends, you know, see who's actually really good or see who's dog shit. So yeah, I mean, we can kind of just run through. So 2001 Tennessee Titans running back Eddie George. He was the first athlete to be on Madden. So it was always John Madden himself on the cover. This year they went with Eddie George. It says that he went on to rush for more than 1,500 yards in his cover season, but he also had a career high in fumbles and never averaged more than 3.4 yards per carry for the rest of his career. So they're going to say that was a curse. 2002, Dante Culpepper, after throwing 33 touchdowns, going 11-5 his first time starter in 2000. Culpepper took a nosedive during his cover season. Injuries cost him 6 games. He fumbled 16 times, threw just 14 touchdowns compared to 13 picks, and they went 4-7. 2003, Marshall Faulk. He entered his cover season, logged 5 straight 1,000 yards and 3 straight 1,300-yard campaigns, but in 2002, Falk broke down, missing about half a dozen starts, never topped 1,000 yards again. So, curse again. This one's interesting. Michael Vick, 2004 cover. Obviously, he was a stud.
Obviously, he's the best Madden player ever. Like,
that was the year he was on the cover. He was the best Madden player of all time. He fractured his fibula less than a week after the game's release and sidelined him all but 5 games. And 4 years later, he ran into some legal trouble and in jail. So
his curse is long.
His curse was,
lengthy.
Yeah. Interesting the way that guy's career turned out, as Eagles fans especially. 2005, Ray Lewis. Who knows as far as like defensive, like, you know, we're going to talk about like, his interception total went from 6 to 0 in 2004.
Is that the same year they lost that jean jacket with all the blood on it?
Is that
his Madden curse?
I think that was a couple years prior. But yeah, I mean, he was
still to bring that up, just keep it fresh in our minds.
He was fine there. The following year, I guess he missed 10 games, but he was fine. 06, our boy Donovan graced the cover of Madden. He was peak in 2004, throwing 31 touchdowns, leading to the Super Bowl. 05 was rock bottom. Him and T.O. were having their issues. They went 6-10. Went on to miss 8 games over the next 2 years as well. So
you remember that McNabb commercial? Like he would he flew through the TV and landed on the couch and shit like that. You remember that commercial?
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah. See, every time you mention a cover, in my mind, I'm literally picturing the cover and starting to remember the commercial. I'm like, yeah, that shit was.
Yeah. 07, Sean Alexander. So he had 5 straight 1,000-yard seasons under his belt at that point. 06, his rushing total dropped from 880 to 896 yards. 2 years later, out of the NFL. So
right now, it's basically been everyone
except Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
So everyone so far except Ray Lewis was pretty much called a curse. Right. They were part of the Madden.
I usually associate the curse though with injury. Because I never looked into it deep.
Plus, it's like performance though too.
Yeah. I know, but most of the time I've thought about guy gets on there and bam, he missed the whole. Which there was a couple, but
yeah.
But yeah.
09, Brett Favre. This was the year that he forced his way out of Green Bay and went to New York. So it's always weird seeing him on the cover of the Green Bay jersey when he's playing as a Jet.
Yeah. Speaking of Brett Favre, I know we were talking about it, but they got a documentary.
Yeah.
On Netflix. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard it paints a bad picture. Yeah. They basically say that's how he comes off.
Yeah, he's just arrogant. Yeah. But that's just the way he's always been, right? Like, it's just now
he's
social
a
media.
Too. He's a photographer.
Yeah, he is with his
Wrangler jeans.
No, they were maybe pictured.
Yeah, there's maybe they're on the side on the floor.
Yeah. But no, he's just not a good guy.
No.
But,
great football player, though.
Yeah.
Great quarterback.
No gunslinger. But yeah, he threw 22 picks that year. So they're going to say that this was a curse.
Yeah.
2010 is the first year they had dual athletes. So this was Larry Fitz and Troy Polamalu. Fitz was.
So that must have been after the Super Bowl.
In my opinion, that's
the Cardinals.
That's the best Madden game of all time. Is Madden 10.
10.
That's the best one. Oh yeah,
that was one of the that Super Bowl was probably one of the most fun to watch.
But
the fact they went back and forth, and I'm pretty sure that was the Cardinals team that beat the Eagles, right? Where Larry Fitzgerald's probably still running right down the middle of the field with nobody by him.
But best one.
I think my favorite one was when they introduced hit stick, and I think that was the Ray Lewis game.
Oh, okay,
That shit was just you just go over. It's
Yeah,
like
just-
blitz, like
Yeah.
trying to smack the shit out of somebody.
I mean, it had a great soundtrack. It was like the one I played. Like I did a whole season. Like I would seasons and seasons and just
I will
play.
say, just a little sidebar: EA Sports and like their soundtracks were
Oh yeah,
fucking awesome.
We're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Need for Speed Underground.
Oh yeah, that was a good one too.
But yeah, so Fitz, he was a Pro Bowler that year, had over 1,000 yards. Palomalu missed 11 games, so they're going to say this is half cursed. So
Half cursed, yeah.
on the Palomalu side,
It's a 50 chance, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Good
job, Larry. Way to break that tackle.
But it's Hall of Famers, right?
Yeah.
So 2011, Drew Brees throwing 33 touchdowns, earning Pro Bowl was fine. And then he threw a career high and a franchise record 22 picks, and the Saints went 7-9. So they're going to say the Dallas curse. 2012, this one's the most random player to ever grace the cover of Madden, Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis, I was going to say.
So yeah, he had 1,000 yards as a lead back in Cleveland. And then just never panned out to be good again.
Yeah.
So
It just makes you think, what the hell were they thinking? It just,
I think they're just got to try and show up to Cleveland.
I guess,
and they wanted a white guy on there. I guess they had
But
Brees.
Drew Brees was
and
at the
Favre,
board, yeah.
So like a white running back, you don't screw it.
It's just so, like you said, it's the most random pick
Yeah.
ever. Like, what is that, man?
And then 2013, they rebounded with Megatron, Calvin Johnson. That dude never had a bad year.
Yeah,
So
he was one of the curse breakers. So
Wait,
was that the year that he got that touchdown, put it on the ground, to stand up?
That was later on. That's when we didn't know what a catch was.
Yeah, exactly.
He had 1,964 yards in the season.
That's probably the year where he had two guys double teaming at the line of scrimmage. Like they were like, I don't know.
There's one on his shoulder, the other one on his.
I don't know how to cover this guy. Damn it! Like
it's incredible. And then AP Adrian Peterson in 2014. So he topped over 1,000 yards for his sixth straight season, but he had a big drop because he had 2,000 yards the year before. So they're saying it was kind of like a half curse, but then you also went into some child abuse.
I was going to say, when did the switch change? I was literally saying the same thing in my head. I was like,
this isn't
before the switch.
This isn't a Nintendo Switch.
It was literally in my head going like, before or after the switch. I was like,
imagine his kids like, hey, Daddy, I want to switch. And he's like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Go get you one, buddy. They're right there. They're in the woods.
Not want this. Now you do. It's like,
this ain't coming from Santa. 2015, Richard Sherman. Who cares? Whatever.
Yeah.
Defensive guys, it's hard to really judge, right?
Yeah,
they said it was a year after that he had Tommy John on his elbow, so not cursed, I guess.
Legion of Boom.
16, Odell Beckham. Obviously, the catch that he had the year before kind of led to his stardom, to be, getting the cover of Madden. He had 1,400 yards. The only thing he had was a suspension for fighting with Josh Norman, but that's kind of just Josh Norman.
Yeah, it's just Josh Norman. Yeah.
2017, Rob Gronkowski. So he had double-digit touchdowns in 2016. He missed pretty much all of the first 4 games with a hamstring injury and finished with just 6 starts due to a herniated disc and other injuries. Gronk was at that point kind of in and out.
Yeah.
So they're saying that was a curse. 2018, Tom Brady. He lost the Super Bowl that year to Big Dick Nick. So shout out Madden for cursing.
Curse.
This is also when Madden really declines in overall gameplay.
It's the same game. It's different players and different locations. Antonio Brown, 2019. This guy, I don't think this was a Madden issue. I think this was just a. This guy is fucking crazy.
I'm pretty sure Burfict just.
Yeah, Burfict.
He fucked that guy up.
Oh, and fun fact: Antonio Brown is apparently he's friends with Mark Martin in NASCAR, and he apparently wants to race a car, and Mark Martin's like, "I'll help you," and I'm like, don't know how that's going to pan out because I highly doubt they'll let him. But I mean,
they're probably just going to say, "Hey, go out there and turn right."
Just turn right. Just turn right into that wall. Right into the wall, please. Just don't do this.
Maybe that'll knock some sense back.
He got out of the car in the middle of a race. Holy shit! Then taking his shirt off.
He's wild card, so I don't think we can ever blame anything on Madden on him. I think it was just that's the way.
It was perfect. Literally, I think.
2020, Patrick Mahomes. So the year before is when he got full-time starter. They won the Super Bowl that year, so no curse there. 2021.
When did he get hurt with his knee injury? Was that not that year?
It cost him 2 starts that year, but that's it.
With the knee injury?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they still won.
Yeah.
2021, Lamar Jackson said he just was MVP the year before. I don't think it was really anything crazy about it. He still had 1,000 yards rushing that year.
And like I said, with Madden being so bad, I like you said that, and I'm like, oh yeah, he was like, say I barely. I don't
honestly,
play.
I had to look up to see who the best 3 ones are.
Yeah, because I was just like, wow, like I barely play him anymore. It's just bad.
Yeah. 2022, they did the split cover. I think this is like the GOAT MVP edition where it was Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. So no curse there. I think Brady went on to win the Super Bowl that year with the Bucs. The year before they won. The year before,
that's why they did it.
And then Mahomes won the following year, so they won another Super Bowl. I know they ended an AFC title game that year. That was the Bengals year, right? 2022, the Bengals went to Super Bowl against the Rams.
Oh yep.
2023 was the them honoring John Madden because he passed away in 2021. So they put Madden back on the cover for him.
So was that going to be a curse because he passed away?
Well, he passed away before the
Madden. Oh.
So
sorry, I was a bad joke, but I mean, I tried to be funny.
No disrespect to John
Madden. No, not at all. No, love the guy.
Great game.
Great guy.
I always remember him from watching Little Giants.
Oh yeah. When they get off the bus,
about the bus, how he never took a plane anywhere.
Yeah, dude, that's nuts. Yeah,
ride a bus. So that's always a nice little,
And he's the whole reason we have that game and stuff. He's a great overall.
Great guy. 2024, Josh Allen. I don't think he's ever really had any kind of curse, right? Like the guys has been playing well.
Yeah.
I mean, the only curse he has is playing Chiefs.
Yeah.
Running out of time.
And
now he's married to Haley Seinfeld. Good for him.
Yeah, not a curse at all. And then probably the most significant curse of Madden was last year, Christian McCaffrey. He's on the cover. No one really knows that there's kind of an injury. Everyone's pissed because they're drafting him in fantasy, number 1
first
overall. And he missed all of 4 games last year due to Achilles tendonitis in one leg, apparently both legs. So who knows what actually is going to come out with Christian McCaffrey. So
he actually has no setbacks coming this year, and I'm not falling for that in fantasy at all.
So I have him in a dynasty,
but everybody else can have him. I'm not drafting that dude.
So this guy, Cody, again, thanks for doing all the research and posting it to CBS Sports. He said that 14 out of the 24 cover athletes from 2001 to 2024 have been cursed, but just 3 of 10 in the last 10 years have been cursed. So there also have not been back-to-back curses since 2011, 2012.
Ooh.
So obviously Saquon getting it this year. What are your thoughts? Do you think there's going to be any kind of Madden curse, or?
I mean, just based on my betting streaks, I'm just going to bet unders on everything this year.
Yeah.
My thing is, like, a lot of people get, because it'll come out when the game, because they'll do the ratings of each player. People get so caught up on that, going like, how dare they only rank Devontae 89 and or something like
ratings.
They get so butthurt by that. I'm like, for me, it's a cool cover, it's an awesome cover.
Yeah,
could care less views on it. You know what I mean? And then and so it's could care less views on it though. I don't sit there and go well,
I don't like it for the simple fact that you have a curse behind it.
But if they pick somebody else, I wouldn't be getting a pitchfork and going, how dare you not put Saquon's backwards hurdle?
I'd actually prefer them to.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
but I mean, it's also 26. He wears 26. It makes perfect sense. It's coming off an incredible year. He ran 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
I get it, but I just know. I know my Philadelphia
they go how
superstitions and stuff. I'm like, I don't want this at all.
Yeah. Why introduce another possible reason?
Yeah.
Can AJ Dillon carry the team?
That's the other thing. Someone said on Twitter they were talking about we should sign Dobbins, and I'm like, do people not realize we do have another running back?
That guy,
we do have Dillon.
Dobbins will get hurt.
Dobbins.
I was going to say Dobbins hasn't had. Has he had one year? I think he's been on his own Madden. He takes a picture of himself, puts it on Madden. Those.
Plays with himself in Madden, and he gets hurt.
Those things when your kids have pictures and stuff. And it's to put them on the covers and things. His mom's still putting them on the Madden covers. It's oh, JK, he's doing so great. And it's would you stop putting them covers? He keeps blowing every knee.
They talk about it in fantasy week 3. He's hurt. And I'm like, yep, exactly why.
The shitty thing is he actually looks like he's a good running back.
Yeah.
He just can't stay healthy. So hey, JK, good luck this year, bud.
Yeah.
So no, that was good. Shout out to The
the anonymous
the anonymous person, yeah.
Well, not even that, but the guy did all the research prior.
Oh,
to
yeah, Cody,
thanks
yeah.
again,
Thanks,
Cody.
Cody, yeah.
Because I was literally going to do the same thing, just kind of compare
Mm-hmm.
their season that they did prior to earn Madden cover to then afterwards. So he did a great job.
And like I said, for me, that was a nice little like nostalgia thing. Like,
bringing it back.
I like
bringing it all back.
When's the last Madden that you bought?
That I bought like physically.
Well, I mean, just like or downloaded or played.
Oh, it would. I downloaded that it would be 19 with Brown on the cover. That's the last one.
That's the last one you
had.
had.
That's the last one I had. Yeah.
I actually bought the one that was Brady Mahomes after the season was done.
Yeah, so like when it comes out cheaper.
And then this is how much of a good Eagles fan I am. My first move was trading Jalen Hurts away and putting Carson back as the starter.
Oh,
so, I've always been a Carson guy.
Yeah. Well, if you played much video games now, they have the Game Pass. So each year, once it gets to like this time of year, like now they have Madden 25 is a downloadable game if you have the Game Pass subscription.
You pay with the
nice.
So that's a big thing with EA Sports or Xbox, right?
Yeah, it's Xbox and EA are combined. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, the last physical copy I have is the Antonio Brown one. That's the last physical. I'm like, don't care. I'm like,
well, thanks again, Anonymous. What else you got, Cam?
Yeah, so this one actually kind of leads into that discussion we were kind of having, right? So this is from our elite listener, Kevin from Wilmington.
Shout out, Kev.
Hi, Kevin.
It's been a while since we heard from you, Kev, so thanks for reaching out. Afternoon, gents. Listening to you guys slobbering all over my Tucker right now. Keep my boy's name out your mouth. Hands off, he's a Cub for life. So I guess we can't give any kudos to Cubs.
Hey, Brock, can you go to the game against the Cubs and just be like, "Hey, yo, Tucker"?
Oh yeah. I'm very good at yelling at players. I'll do that for sure.
Yeah. Trade Cassie for Tucker.
There you go. Yeah.
So then he says, now that's out of the way, what are your thoughts on Saquon potentially breaking the single season record this coming year? Tough schedule with a lot of the same pieces coming back. It could happen.
It could.
So again, kind of what we were talking about, right? Like the Madden curse. Like this is
even before the Madden curse thing. I just obviously last year with getting him, it's like teams knew we were going to run the ball down their throats every game. And I said all year, and I would say it this year too, if he was going for it, I'd be sitting there going, like, you don't have to use him every play.
Right.
We don't want.
That's my mindset. It's like they bring Dylan in.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I don't know how much Dylan's going to actually play between the 20s.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they use Shipley for. But let's not overuse him again. Like last year was crazy.
Yeah. We're keeping the tush push, so we know.
The tush push.
And my thing with the tush push is obviously Dylan is going to be in there on that play because he's Quadzilla too. He's got ridiculous quads. So
let's split some time with them, whatever. I mean, ideally, I would like him in his best year in my mind. If this year would be 1,500 yards somewhere in there. Yeah. He cut down on the carries, so it's not a ridiculous amount, but you're splitting more time with Dylan, you're splitting more time with Shipley, but then you save him towards.
And I think that's kind of the mentality that Saquon has, right? Like it is upsetting that he didn't get the record last year when he absolutely could have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if they would have just tried to force feed him, he probably could have gotten it.
And that was part of him saying, let the young kid eat.
That's his mentality.
Kudos on him.
He wants to win championships.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about the single. His dad was upset about not getting his, the last name Barkley in the record books. But at the end of the day, he was a 2,000-yard rusher, Super Bowl champion, and now he's even more respect and recognition by getting Madden. So I think that kind of what you're saying, I'm on the same track, right? Like keep him healthy, make sure he's there for the playoffs if we can make it to the playoffs.
Right. It is a
barring some disastrous, injury for the team. They should be contending again next year. So we'll see kind of what happens, but I think that it will be a step back. It's not going to get 2,000 yards.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't see.
I mean,
I
think it's going to be
after the two recent Super Bowls, other than the one we just won.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't performed well coming out of the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So, no. Other than the Chiefs, right? Like it's hard to win back.
And like Kevin mentioned, our schedule is brutal.
It is.
Like it's like you want to come out swinging, but it's not even. It's not even
like 12-5.
Well,
So and I also I say the schedule is brutal, and it is. I think the opponents are brutal. I didn't like how they did it, but after looking at it, and I kind of one of our other listeners kind of asked that. He's like, "Oh, I thought you said the schedule was brutal," and I was like, "Yeah, but." After kind of going through it and see the built-in extra time that they have going into big matchups,
and then we don't have to travel.
I think that helps.
Country either, too.
But it's they have a lot of times this year where they have 10 days off, leading into big matchups, and I think that can help them, So,
I mean, the schedule is obviously on paper it's tough, but like the Eagles are a damn good football team.
No, yeah,
Like like it's not
all
like the
around,
other teams are looking around. It's like, oh, we got all these cake matchups to play the Eagles.
Yeah.
the other thing I
no,
like to hear too, it's like, I mean, people are getting asked, AJ's getting asked, Nick's being asked, like, hey, oh, this is great. You guys won the Super Bowl. What are you going to do next? And they're like, next year.
yeah,
Like,
we're on the next.
we're on the next year. Like, it was nice. It was great to win. Yeah, but
and
I'm on the
that's
next
the
year.
thing about the whole
So I
team.
think everybody,
they all seem to be so focused on it and not like they're not their heads aren't this big. Like,
I think they
so,
learned.
yeah,
I think a lot of them have learned from one the year that they won against Kansas City and lost. I think they learned from that experience, but also kind of what happened in 2017 when 2018 year. It's like everybody was like, "Oh my God, we're celebrating," and then they have down year. So I think a lot of them are learning from that. And like, no, our heads are down. We're going to try to do it again.
Yeah.
So they didn't basically pull on Mahomes and be like, "Oh yeah, we're going to win 3 in a row," like that kind of thing. But I think that their minds are in the right place to where, regardless of the schedule, yes, it is a tough schedule. 2 years ago, we had a tough schedule. And going into that schedule, they were, when they had the Chiefs, Bills, and I can't remember.
Right. And some of us wanted Nick fired after 4 weeks.
Yeah. Well, that was last year. The year before, though, when they were 10-1, and they had that gauntlet that they went through, they actually won against the Bills. They won against the Chiefs. They won those games when they needed to. It just took the game against the Niners where they literally just decimated us. Yeah. And I don't know if they just broke our spirit or if they put a game plan out there of, hey, this is how you beat this team. But it just went downhill from there.
Well,
so.
And like I said about the fan, like, because they still talk about it, like with all said like 20 times, sorry. With Brock Purdy getting his contract and stuff, and the Niners are ready to go. Everybody says, "Well, remember we beat your ass, with Brock because we hurt him," and then they come back and they whoop their ass, like. But everybody just like they what's the word?
Cycle.
What's the word I'm trying to think of? They hang up so much on. Sorry, yeah, thanks for that. Yeah. They hang up so much on what happened last year, that they use that as like fuel for this year, and I'm like, it's a whole different year.
Yeah.
Like anytime a Niner person says anything, fans are just remember what we did. We whooped your ass.
There's a lot of teams that like fantastic. To live in the past.
Last year, yeah. I'm like, who cares? I'm really bad at pointing that out. But yeah, it's just we need to just worry about this year and stop talking about because it's different every year. And don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, we as we mentioned, we do have a tough schedule this year. I think there's 11 playoff teams that we play this year, which is tough. It's like I know like they have the stats of how many teams like go from previous year to the new year, the playoffs and things like that. But you look at it like, okay, there were playoff teams last year. They're for the most part going to be good again. So
and the offense is all coming back. He lost the offensive coordinator, so that's who knows.
We'll see. Yeah,
it's every year almost. So.
But I mean, like the Eagles, they're still a damn good football team. So like, they're gonna have a better schedule, but they still are going to be a contender, right? I think they're the second highest odds to win the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah.
So I mean, tough schedule, but still they're a good team, and they can still win.
Yeah. So back to Kevin's question, though, it's like I don't want them to be in a spot where he's going for the record because I think if they did that, they're overutilizing it.
Yeah.
So
I'll see. But again, I agree. Kind of like what you're saying is that we need him for playoffs if we so happen to make it to the playoffs next year, as we all kind of project him into.
Yeah.
I think that's where Saquon's kind of got his mindset at right now.
And the crazy thing too, it's we all say 12-5. Yeah. That's not even. You can't even say it's a division winner. Like you can be 12-5 and be a wild card team.
Yeah, it should be, but I mean last year was
look at the North where they had 3 teams that were in the playoffs, but they were all
14-3.
They were 14-3. Yeah.
So I mean we'll see. Also, just part 2 on his question here is he says that he's come to realize that the Philadelphia Union are woefully underrepresented in this podcast. So I'll go ahead and educate you all on the season right now. So he sent this in on Thursday, so it's a couple of days back. So he says currently through a third of the season, the Union's at 3 points clear in first and in the East, and 1 point lead in the Supporters Shield. We have the Golden Boot leader right now, Ty Barbo, with 13 goals. And we're taking on the New York City Red Bulls in the quarterfinal and the Open Cup in a couple of weeks. We have a good squad. I think Brock would enjoy it. If you've ever watched soccer.
Oh, I mean, I watched soccer for like the World Cup
Yeah.
Or what if Messi does something or Ronaldo does something, like that's about the time I watch. Otherwise, no, I'm sorry, I don't watch soccer much.
Yeah, I mean, Brian and I played
if it comes
soccer
if it
pretty
comes on
close,
TV,
We
so,
played soccer. I cannot watch soccer.
Yeah,
I
it's
absolutely
awful.
hate it.
I
I
played
hate.
soccer when I was like 7.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I basically played it my entire, let's say, up to through high school. So
I mean, you played
year
after, 'cause
round.
we played
Yeah,
again.
we would play, but it's like
I'm not saying it's a
Recreation,
bad
nothing.
sport to watch.
no, I love playing
The
the sport.
excitement is
I
crazy.
cannot watch it.
I just can't sit there.
I hate
for 90
the
minutes.
well,
Yeah.
it's not even that. Like I just hate how slow it is.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hate every flop. Like
Oh,
you want
that's
to talk about like NBA and flops?
Oh man, yeah.
Soccer flops are the absolute worst, and it's
Yeah.
like that's what honestly drove me away from soccer. So sorry, Kev,
I
I'm not
understand.
like if
sometimes
you
the-
want to give us updates of like the
Yeah.
union,
Yeah.
dude,
you can be our
That's what he
union,
says.
absolutely.
So he says,
you're a union guy for sure.
You could be our union reporter and like let us relay what you say, and it's like
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not hating the fact that they're doing well. Like I love the fact that like I always love when Philadelphia sports do well.
Yeah.
I mean, I would gladly cover Union over WNBA, certainly. So, at this point, I can't watch it. I agree with Brock. It's more of I'll watch World Cup
I
because
get the plays.
World Cup's
Sometimes the
awesome.
setup
But
plays are nice. You watch a guy
Like a
hit
corner
it,
kick.
hit it all. Yeah, corner kick, or you watch a pass all the way across the field, and then it's like pass, boom, goal. It's like that's exciting.
yeah, that happens
But it
once
happens
every
one time.
like
Yeah.
90-minute game.
You're watching you just sit there and you hear the crowd going, oh no. I'm like, how do
Or
they
what
do
was
this?
it a couple years ago when they had those little horns?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, how do they do this the whole time? Like,
Dude, soccer fans are something.
no,
They're
I know. That's
nuts.
what I'm saying.
Like I would
they're
absolutely
crazy,
love to go like
Oh,
to Europe and actually watch like a Man U,
be an actual game experience.
European,
Sure.
Premier Soccer.
And avoid the riots that happen. When a team loses, that'd be kind of cool. Then not get caught up in that.
We're in Philly, we can't say too much.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, maybe you should invite the pod out for. I know you're a season ticket holder. Or you used to be.
Oh, I think he still is. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Invite the pod out for a soccer match.
Yeah. But so he says they might get some hardware this year, so we'll see. He's going to keep us in the loop.
Awesome, appreciate that.
I will say their stadium in Chester, shitty area, awesome stadium. It is really cool to go watch soccer live.
I haven't been to soccer game.
But as Brian and I, former soccer players, I think we both have the same opinion. So it's just tough to watch anymore because there's so many dives and everyone's acting like they broke their ankle when they get up.
There's magic spray
and they're sprinting around.
Now, since we were talking about video games, how we feel about FIFA?
Oh, I love playing FIFA.
I love playing FIFA.
So my favorite sports, not so much Madden. I just never really got Madden, but I loved NHL. By far was the best. You talk about hit sticks. It's like you just turn off penalties and it's like unleashed.
I used to play NHL online, like in a club. Like each guy had a different. You had all
Position.
5-on-5 and had.
So
you had your own.
It was legit. Yeah.
So were you doing like line shifts and stuff too? So you're always playing the left wing, or
no? It's just you 5. 5 versus 5. But you had a goalie left. You played left wing the whole time. It was you could create your own player.
So you kept the position.
But it was legit stuff back then. Yeah.
Nope, mine's just turn penalties off and crush people.
There you go.
Yes. But so thanks, Kev. Looking forward to hearing the updates on the Union, and congrats on my Cubs for winning the NL in June.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Go Cubs.
Good job, Cubs. And lastly, so Tyler from Magnolia, he sent over a question, trade talks. So he's asking us what we think that there's the top player the Phillies should get and the top player you want because you want them. Right. So, Ryan, we'll start with you.
So I'll just go off of. So what I was looking at was clearly the Phillies need with Alvarado going out, left-handed reliever.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of research. I didn't find many left-handed relievers available. The other problem with it being June 2nd and the expanded playoffs of baseball, a lot of teams are still kind of in the mix. So I centered my kind of search to just some of the teams that are clearly just out of it. So I looked down the Orioles, looked at the White Sox, looked at the Pirates, and I have the Reds. So of those 4 teams, I got 4 guys that I think that the Phillies should look at, potentially bringing in.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to be high price guys to where you have to give up a lot to get them, but just let me so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go down the stats of what they have this year and just tell me if you guys would be like, yeah, that'd be great to have in our team. So, and then we'll kind of figure out who it is and that kind of thing. So the first contestant on Philly's trade market is
blind baby.
Yeah. So we got a 29-year-old.
Is he already like
18 innings.
okay? So he's probably a closer.
Yeah, 20. Oh, they're all relief pitchers.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, these are all relief pitchers. So I figure that's the hole we need to fill. 24 Ks. A nice 3.86 ERA. 1.39 whip. 9 net saves versus hold. Right-handed reliever. So, or option number 2. 30-year-old. 16 innings pitched. 13 Ks. 2.16 ERA. 1.08 whip. 8 net save versus hold. So keep in mind when we're looking at the net saves and holds, these are teams that are down towards the end, like the bottom.
Yeah,
so it's exactly. Third contestant, 29 years old. So there's a theme here of like they're pretty 29, 30-year-olds. 24 innings pitched, 21 Ks, 1.48 ERA, 0.9 whip, 12 net saves versus holds. And then the last contestant, 34 years old, so it's been around for a little while. 25 innings pitched, 30 Ks, 3.86 ERA, 0.9 whip, 13 net saves versus hold. So you have 4 options there. A couple of younger guys, I guess you would say, and then one that's kind of been around a little bit. So what do you think?
I think B or C.
Yeah, I like contestant number 3.
All right, so we're gonna go contestant number 4 is Emilio Pagan with the Reds. So the downfall of him, like I like the numbers that he has. He's 34 years old, $8 million.
He's a righty, right?
Righty.
Okay.
They're all righties.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you said.
So again, it's like I think we need a lefty, but it's like from the teams that were down towards the bottom, these are the guys that kind of like, all right, well, who could we potentially go after? So, with the Reds, $8 million, that's kind of a high for a bullpen guy.
Yeah.
Now it's only for half a year because he's a free agent next year. So it's one of those things where it's like, you may not have to cover all of that. You're only covering a portion of it. So, the first one, since you guys said B or C, the first one was Felix Bautista for the Orioles.
Okay.
I had it in mind too. Okay.
Yeah, 29 years old. He's arbitration eligible for the next 2 years, a free agent in 2028. So you do have some control there. But the ERA's in the 4s, whatever.
But
so
the Orioles dog shit.
Yeah, and it's like, do you really want to trade with the Orioles? I mean, we just did that last year with Soto and Sir Anthony, and that whole.
That was Austin Hayes. So that would be great.
So, all right. So then, B or C? What do you guys want next?
Let's go B.
Let's go B. Yeah.
All right. B. White Sox. Steven Wilson. So 30 years old.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah. So
that's where I feel like Dombrowski's going to get someone like that. We don't know much
from last year.
I mean, 2.16 ERA, 1.18 or 1.08 WHIP. Very similar to Bautista. So next 2 years are arbitration eligible, and then free agent in 2028. Yeah. So those guys right there, the 3 that are here are all less than $2 million.
Yeah, and then you're definitely don't have to give up prospects because we know Dom doesn't want to do that.
Right, and it's like, or you're not giving up crazy prospects. Like you're looking at it like these teams are looking to hopefully sell. So, and it's like, it's not like these guys are 23, 24 years old. We're like, oh no, you can't have them because
they're untouchable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then the last option was with our Pirates, who we will see this weekend, Dennis Santana.
Okay.
29 years old, as mentioned. Like I said, I love these numbers, and it's like it just kind of takes you by surprise a little bit. But 24 innings pitched, 21 Ks, 1.48 ERA, 0.9 WHIP. He's arbitration eligible next year and a 2027 free agent. Again, under $2 million.
So are these just like middle relief guys?
Yeah.
Okay, they're all middle relief. Well,
they're all relief, but they're all.
But they're not like closers. They're like
some of them, like I think Wilson, like I saw. He's like filling in that role, but I mean they're relievers. Like I don't think we're going out and getting a closer. I think it's like we need
the only one closer. The other guys are on teams that don't really have a closer. They just kind of throw anybody out there one day or this day.
Yeah. So, and what I'm looking at is like, all right, I need guys that. I mean, it would be great if one of them was a lefty, but they would probably be, already either locked up or whatever. So I'm looking at the teams that are, towards the bottom. And honestly, the Santana kid looks like he might actually be a good addition. So
he was on the Mets. Fuck this guy.
everybody makes mistakes.
I mean,
Brock likes the hits.
He's on Dodgers, Texas, Mets, Yankees, Pirates.
So a lot of chances. How old is he though? He's what?
29.
29? Yeah.
Mhm.
He's been on 6 different teams already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's make it
obviously,
7.
like we know that bullpen's a need.
Mhm.
These guys, these options that you presented seem like they're not going to be something you have to give a lot for.
Right.
Yeah.
They are on teams that aren't necessarily contending. So yeah,
We'll see if any of those hit.
I like Batista though. Only because he has the closing experience. So it's like.
Yeah, but
Santana has 5 saves.
Oh,
this
well,
year.
yeah, yeah. So I just know
Wilson only has
Batista.
1,
That's
but-
the one I'm like, oh, I know. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, Pittsburgh, I think Bednar is healthy. I think he's their normal closer. So
Yeah.
it's not like their closer role is opening. It's just kind of like he's probably had to pitch when Bednar wasn't out here.
Yeah.
Bednar wasn't available. But
as far as like players that I would want, I think Brock, you mentioned earlier, it's like you hear that, maybe the Red Sox are going to sell, and it might just be driven by more if the Padres are interested in Duran. But, okay, yes, if there's a guy that ideally that I would like, I wanted Devers before he signed the contract.
Yeah.
I would still take him.
And that's why, like
the
I said,
problem
you
is what do you have to give up for them? So,
right, they have, and like I said about Devers, like I texted you guys about it. Like, we're showing the Red Sox clearly need first base help, and I'm like, well, we're showing them that Bowman can play first. So it's like if that were to work out that way, it's like
yeah. The problem is like if you look at it from a Red Sox, like why the hell am I taking Bone?
Because they need a guy who can play third and first, and he can do that.
it clears the books.
And it cleared the books of Devers, and they move on.
But it's going to be a lot to give up.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
right. Devers is
you're sending Bohm, you're sending prospects,
Yeah.
you're sending because how old is Devers? He's probably 29 or 30.
Yeah.
Maybe younger than
no,
that.
the age's not on there.
And he just signed I know you had this up, Cam. He just signed a 10-year deal, or is it less?
I don't have his deal up. So
20,
Devers is
28,
28.
28 years
28,
old.
yeah.
But
And
yeah,
then
his
his
deal
deal-
was, I think it was 10 years.
His deal is a 10-year deal for 313 million.
Yeah, so that's somebody that that's the age for right.
Yeah. So,
27. That's not bad.
no.
I mean, we talk about Harper getting 25 a year, and that was a discount. So now you're getting what I would say is a great third baseman. He said he wanted to play third
Well,
base.
that's the thing. He doesn't want to switch positions, so that he comes here. We're like, you are third
You're
base.
third base, right?
That's where you'll be. We're never going to ask you to not be third base. That's where he wants to play.
Now, I don't think the Red Sox will do this.
No, I don't either.
I mean, if the question is who do you want, then I want Devers.
I want Devers, yeah. Because especially if you get a guy like Devers, if we're gonna lose Schwarber, you're gonna need him.
Yeah, there's a lot centered around that Schwarber, and it's Devers you get younger.
Yeah,
because you have a guy. Sure, it's 10 years, but he's 28 years old, so he's kind of still fitting in that window of okay, let's make a shot for a longer period of time.
Obviously we want
as opposed to like your
sign Schwarber back and just get that out of the way. But
yeah,
I mean, I'm going to bring up Kevin's boy again too. I still like that Kevin or the Tucker. Kyle Tucker.
Oh yeah, exactly right.
I mean, Boston's only 3 games under 500. They're 3.5 games back out of the wild card.
Yeah,
so
they're right there.
Certainly
that's
not
what I was saying.
right?
Yeah.
But they're not where we have them. We have them winning the division.
For sure. Yeah.
So like,
there's definitely they're underperforming.
Yeah.
Especially to our expectations. I think they're under.
How many times have we said it's still early?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
3 games out. 3 games out, you have one good series against the Yankees, and it's like, guess what?
Carabas dude that works for Barstool, like he's a big Red Sox guy. Obviously, he was like, Jesus Christ, he's like, we're not really like out of it yet, and people are already saying that we're
selling the team,
selling Duran and selling this guy and all that. I'm like, hey, but if they want to though, I'm like,
well, if they are selling, one guy I think Philly should go after is fucking Aroldis. Have you seen his numbers this year?
Yeah, dude, he's still throwing 100 mile an hour.
That's all he throws.
Yeah.
So 26 games, 24 innings, 32 Ks, 9 saves, 1-0 whip.
Wow.
1.8 ERA, 3-2 is record. So
and you lost
guy's balling.
Yeah,
and he's
like 39 years old,
37 years old.
Yeah, and still doing that. But you lost Alvarez, and you throw him in there. It's like someone's and he's obviously got the experience.
Alvarado.
Sorry, Alvarado. My bad. I even said his name right before I even said it right.
So yeah, well,
Alvarez Alvarado.
So I think another player that the Phillies have been kind of rumored to go after, and I think we all kind of on the same page here, is Cedric Mullins.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, it's you
me personally. I don't.
We talked about him earlier in the offseason, right? like we did our off-season previews. Cedric Mullins is like he plays really good defense, but his bat is not much better than like
I'd rather go with what we have.
He's been inconsistent.
Yeah, I'd rather have what we have than to go out and give things up for Cedric Mullins.
Yeah, I agree.
This is what bothered me about Mullins, and because I've said it on Twitter. They said that they liked what he did in the World Baseball Classic, which was how many years ago?
I liked what Trey Turner did in the World Baseball Classic.
Right. Yeah. It's why would you not? Yeah. So I'm thinking they look at what he did then, and obviously the Orioles are dog shit. They're thinking this should be a cheap pickup where it wouldn't have been so cheap that year when they. But I'm like, if you liked him then, you should have got him then. Not now.
No, he doesn't.
Now it just seems like you're just. Now it seems like the Austin Hayes deal. It just seems like you're just going to try to get one guy, and maybe he pans out, maybe he doesn't. Like,
right.
It's not.
I would rather wait for the kid in AAA or AA to come up. Crawford. Yeah.
So he's batting .232 and 181 at bats. He's got 10 home runs, 31 RBIs, 8 stolen bases.
He's the exact opposite of a home run. Like 10 home runs.
I think he's my age.
232. Like, come on. That's not what you want as a center fielder.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he's like a power hitting like Rojas, right? Like, he's not going to be great average. He's giving you more home runs, and he's better. Like, he's good defensively, but like,
I don't think he's better than Rojas defensively.
No, I think
they're probably comparable.
But he also
he's 30
just
also.
went to the IL. So.
Yeah. So
I thought he was.
I heard the same thing, but I don't want him at all.
No.
I absolutely do not want him at all.
I just feel like because Dom has already done stuff with the Orioles, he probably just feels like, hey,
well, then go get Bautista.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the other center fielder that comes up all the time is Mr. Trout.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the problem that you have with him, and we keep saying it every year, it's like he's getting older, and it's every year he gets hurt. So, can he stay healthy? He's been injured this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge contract. I think he's 33 years old. Are you going to take on?
Yeah, he's turns 34 in August.
And then how many years does he have left of his contract?
So he's a free agent after the 2030 season. So 2031 is when he'll be a free agent, but he's making $37 million every year until then.
Yeah. So that's a lot of money to pay for a guy that doesn't play 120 plus games a year.
Plus, he wouldn't be very happy because he'd miss Eagles games because we play in the postseason.
Well, he'll probably be hurt that time.
Oh, yeah. He might. Yeah.
But, I mean, sure. I would love to have Mike Trout, but what are you giving up for him? One, you're probably gonna need a lot of the salary.
For him,
well, no, I don't think so.
You have to give up Miller and Abel for sure.
And probably,
I don't think they're going to.
I don't think they'll have to get up.
They're not going to give up Painter. They're not giving Painter up. They'll have to move.
Well, I think it also depends on how much money what's the negotiation on the money. So if we're eating $37 million and there's unrolling that, then I think the price tag on prospects goes down.
Yeah, for sure. But it's also like we're the ones asking them.
Right.
Like it's.
I mean, they're also kind of somewhat
all the leverage at this point. Like, you want Mike Trout, right? You want one of the superstars of baseball. You want him to come play for your team. You're going to have to eat payroll and then give up a decent amount of.
Well, then that's when you're like, all right, we'll go get Cedric Mullins for nothing.
But that's where
that's like where I think that's the whole thing with Mullins. It's just because it would cost nothing.
I think they've been playing better as of late, but I don't think they're really going to compete for him.
No, because they can't stay healthy. Like, I will say, Hoppy looks good. Maybe they give us a little discount because of that. Because it's like, oh yeah, you guys gave us a catching prospect that actually looks like he might be good. Here,
watching Syndergaard.
So, but yeah, I mean, back to just guys that we want. I mean, in an ideal world, absolutely, I'd like that version.
I'd take Shohei. I was trying to be like Shohei.
Yeah, right.
I would sell the entire team for Shohei.
He can come gamble in Philly.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll be a small
Yankees
guy.
Are offering. We'll take Aaron Judge. We'll throw you Andrew Painter.
It's all the wants, right?
Yeah,
realistic ones. But yeah, we just come up with the Philly-based trades. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna send. Hear me out here.
Yeah.
Alec Bohm.
Yeah.
And Brandon Marsh. Yeah. To the Yankees.
And Casty. To throw Casty.
Dude, I think that's too much. And Casty for Aaron Judge.
What Judges do that for?
You think Judge can play all three positions?
Yeah, I think he'd figure it out. As long as he's batting 400, don't matter what position he plays. But anyway, so obviously, I think realistically, the bullpen is the need for the Phillies. That's where we're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Is bullpen. Maybe an outfield or bench bat, probably. But again, we don't think that there's going to be any blockbuster trades for the Phillies this year.
No, I don't think so either. So, We will see. I mean, the funny thing was, is literally last week, our team was the best in.
Yeah.
So
looks like we lost Brock here. So
I was literally just sitting here. And they went
like computer's updating.
They went black and it's updating. I did nothing. There was no warning of any kind. I'm just sitting here.
All right, so let's shit on the Knicks real quick. So, no, so Brock's having some technical difficulties. So, maybe he'll be able to rejoin. I think.
I don't know if I don't
You
know.
you might. We'll figure it out. If people can't hear you, then they won't gain any more likes on their drinking game.
But yeah. So thanks, Tyler, for shooting that over in the mailbag. I know you said you got some ammo in the clip there for some mailbag. So
good.
Feel free to send it over. And I think he also was going to
actually drop the WNBA stuff. I don't care about
it. He said he was going to send over some feedback on the flag football teams that we drafted.
Oh, nice.
And give us some information on that. So looking forward to hearing from that, Tyler. So
sounds good. So I guess the last few things we had was Twitter. I don't think we'll kind of speak for Brock here. I think Brock, you can still talk into your mic.
I don't. Yeah, I get.
This one has you won't be able to see Brock's beautiful face.
I don't know what.
And the shitty thing is we kind of talked about this, but we're not even going to do a beard off.
Yeah.
So we were looking at doing an NBA playoffs. If the Knicks would have made it through, and Cam, you had anybody in the West, right?
Yeah. So unfortunately, the Knicks for Brock didn't make it. So we were going to do a beard.
Brock's going to keep the beard,
which I feel like was certainly not fair to him.
Let's be honest, the beard was
but yeah, so he doesn't have to worry about losing the beard. But yeah, I mean,
we'll listen for the listeners. If you guys want to put a bet on or whatever you think that we could potentially do. Brock's.
Answer the question. I'm keeping it now. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
No, that's
Brock's
only,
computer
that's
restarts and he's like just changed his whole beard mentality.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, on Twitter, I don't think there was anything too wild this week. One thing to note: we are on TikTok now.
Yeah.
So go follow us on TikTok. You'll maybe see us do some like wine rankings. You will not see us do any dancing. Promise you that.
Too late for that.
Unless you guys give us 500 likes on TikTok. 500 followers, 500 likes, then we'll maybe do a dance for you guys. But yeah, so check us out on
the only time
TikTok.
We'll be dancing will be Tyler's wedding later this year. That'll be fueled by a lot of alcohol.
At Fraud Street Pod on TikTok. So if you guys go ahead and follow us, we did a couple that we posted last week. We're also posting to the Instagram. So just keep following us on social.
Yeah, if you guys see anything you want us to kind of rank or whatever you want us to do other than dances, send it our way.
Yeah, tag us. I think you guys, I don't know TikTok at all. I never really used it. So if there's any way to like tag us in videos you want us to redo or anything like that, just reach out.
Yep. Sounds good. So
what else we got?
Got bets. I had a terrible week in bets. I'm not gonna fucking talk about it.
I only bet twice this week. One was for the Knicks to cover, and they did. And then the second game, I bet on the Knicks to +4 for last night's or the game 6 that they lost, and they got blown out. So I went 1-1 and even money.
Hey, there you go.
I bet what I won from the first game and then lost it the second time.
So I guess lastly, fantasy. Last week I was playing Tony, and I walked away with a nice solid 5-4 victory. Kind of split offensively. He beat me in runs and home runs. I had him in RBI, stolen bases, and average, and then pitching. Neither of us actually had a win. Nice. That was when we tied. Nobody had a win.
That's wild.
I had K's. Thanks to Luzardo, I had a nice 6.15 ERA, and then I got him in a win.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was basically a 500 week there. So I think I'm still in what place? 7th place, which is terrible. And this week
you were talking about
yeah, right. It was the first place for 1 week. So this week I'm playing Brendan's team. So time to give him a nice 10-0 crushing and get right back into the playoff picture.
Nice. So my fantasy, I went 5-4 against Kevin. So second Kev. We had all the offense. We tied stolen bases, and I had all the pitching. I had 71 innings, pitching 31 innings. So even with his 31 innings, he didn't have a great great weekend pitching. So, my team's just batting is just not great. My team batted 218 last week, so that's kind of terrible.
Yeah, my lineup's been hit or miss week to week.
I don't know. Maybe we got to start making some trade or something because this team ain't batting very well.
Yeah, well, let's make some trades. Your fantasy league.
Let's look and see who my worst person was. Langoliers batted 158, Torkelson 176, McLean 100, Turner 208, Luis Robert 067. No wonder my team bad. Oh, Arenado 167. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that explains why my team batted 218. Luckily, Jose
Brock still
Ramirez
won
went
Arenado?
478.
Yeah, no, I'm still.
So I think Brock's back just
I'm
in
back.
time to talk about his
I'm
fantasy
sorry about that. I have
updates.
no idea what the fuck happened. So I lost 6-4 in categories, but my offensive team went nuts. I had 35 runs, 20 home runs, and 52 RBIs.
Damn.
I had 20 total runs, and your team had 20 home runs. I had 20 RBIs.
Yeah, I only had 1 win pitching, so that wasn't great.
I had 6 of those.
I had 0.
Yeah.
Tony did 2. So
yeah, I'm sitting in third, Brock's in fourth. So yeah, we'll see. But it seems like every week it's always like 5-4, 6-4.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to catch
real,
people
like,
when
movement,
you don't
7-3.
have. So
I'm getting a lot of injuries piling up.
just like the Phillies, and you take advantage of this upcoming matchup. It's like these are the wins I need to make sure I put Luzardo and Sanchez in my starting rotation. So
Just leave them in.
yeah, just leave them in. So. All right. Well, that concludes today's episode. Appreciate everybody listening. And don't hesitate to reach out and send us what you guys want us to talk about. So,
yeah.
Cheers.
Appreciate it, everyone. Later.